I genuinely cannot believe I'm saying this sentence out loud. Jake Paul is fighting Anthony Joshua, not an exhibition, not a charity spar, in a sanctioned professional heavyweight bout on December 19th, live on Netflix. This might be the most unrealistic matchup boxing has produced in the last decade, maybe ever. Jake Paul went from preparing for a 5'6" lightweight Gervonta Tank Davis to fighting a 6'6" Olympic gold medalist, a former unified heavyweight champion, and one of the most dangerous punchers of his generation. And the craziest part, they're actually going through with this. In this video, I'm breaking down how this fight even got made, the hidden risks for both guys, what it really means for AJ and Jake, why AJ said yes to this circus, and what we should actually expect on December 19th.
It's real.
There's got to be some rules in place for Anthony not to.
Dude, I don't think there's rules.
Come on.
I swear to God.
I keep telling people this, right? And this is where people fucking up, especially these MMA dudes. I can't.
Say that like that.
Cause bro, like Francis went and fought him.
Oh, I said, Jake, I said, did you see what he did to Francis? He's like, Francis is light work too.
Here's also, oh my God, yeah, he is kind of crazy. Francis wasn't training boxing at the level.
Yeah, we get it.
Cause let me right here. Let me tell you this. He fights Anthony Joshua with no parameters in place. Y'all better give Jake Paul his credit.
Yeah.
I will, cause that's fucking, it's brave.
By the end of this video, you're either going to think this fight is genius or the dumbest thing boxing has signed in years. But before we break all this down, if you end up liking the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want other videos like this.
And I want to ask this question, and I hope you know it comes from the most sincere and respectful place possible. Are you all right, my man? Have you lost your mind? This is Anthony Joshua that you just called out. You're fighting Anthony Joshua in less than a month. Why are you doing this?
I like to challenge myself. I like to take on the biggest, the best. I said anyone, anytime, any place. I truly mean that. And I'm here to go out there and shock the world. I know what I'm capable of. I see him and what he's capable of. And we're going to go to war, and we'll see the best man that will win. But people say, oh, he's out of his mind, all of these things. I've gotten to where I'm at today because of delusional optimism. And so it's delusion until it's not, because look at where we're sitting today. No one ever thought that this would be possible, that we would be here when I first started boxing. And no one thinks I'm going to win. So join the list and be ready to be shocked.
So let's rewind a little bit. Jake Paul was supposed to fight Gervonta Tank Davis, a fight that made zero sense physically, but made perfect sense financially. The whole event imploded for two major reasons: Tank's domestic abuse allegations and a rumored terrible ticket sales.
He just represents everything that's wrong with boxing, unprofessionalism, and you know he's getting what you know, he's reaping what he sows. But I hate working with people like that. He stands everyone up, film crews, everything. Doesn't do any promotion, doesn't do any posts, but it is what it is. And I'm actually glad this all happened this way so that he doesn't get, you know, the biggest paycheck of his life and just continues to be a piece of shit.
Once Tank pulled out, Jake basically told his team, find me someone huge. I don't care if it's crazy. Netflix just needs a spectacle. On 4 weeks notice, the realistic options were boring. Nate Diaz rematch, some retired boxer, Andre Ward, which was a rumor, Francis Ngannou, who said hell no, or another washed up MMA name. Something safe that just keeps the date alive. Instead, they swung for the moon. Rumors leaked Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Most of us assumed it was fake, clickbait, or a leverage play. But money talks, man. Netflix opened the vault. Matchroom wanted AJ active. AJ's team saw a window before a possible Tyson Fury fight in 2026. Suddenly, the dumb fantasy matchup became a real signed fight.
How did this come across your radar? And could I ask, what was your initial reaction when you found out that there was a possibility of fighting Jake Paul this year on Netflix?
Thank you for having me. Well, you got to give credit to Jake and his team. They reached out to me, to be fair. And it was a great opportunity for me. So it's an opportunity for me to fight. I wanted to take 12 months out of the game. And then it was time to get back to work. So I was planning on fighting anyway. And actually, I would have been fighting this weekend if I had it my way. And this opportunity presented itself. And I said, yeah, why not? It's great. I think it's massive. It's colossal. It's making big news. We're bringing marketability together with ability. Those two worlds collide. You got Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, and we're here in Miami. We're bringing Europe, Africa, Asia, Nigeria, the whole world together to watch this show on Netflix. It's going to be phenomenal, and that's how we ended up here.
This is the part that shocks me the most. Why would Anthony Joshua, a two-time heavyweight champion with Olympic pedigree, agree to fight a YouTuber coming off a lightweight training camp? 3 reasons. Reason number 1, money. Stupid, life-changing money. This might be AJ's biggest payday ever. Netflix didn't just open the checkbook, they ripped it in half and threw the vault at him. Reason number 2, activity before fury. AJ hasn't fought in a while since he got knocked out by Daniel Dubois. Eddie Hearn needed him active before a potential mega fight in 2026. They were already planning a December comeback, just a light tune-up, but that light tune-up somehow turned into Jake Paul and the biggest bag of his career. Reason number 3, he thinks this is easy work. Let's be real. AJ probably thinks he needs 1 or 2 rounds to erase Jake. He expects another Francis Ngannou situation, walk him down, blow him out, pause, collect the check. He knocks him out, gets paid, gets his confidence back, walks into a Fury fight with momentum. But here's the problem. If AJ doesn't finish Jake quickly, if he looks sloppy, if he gets clipped somehow, if this even touches round 4, it stains his legacy, in my opinion. It becomes a permanent meme. He has everything to lose, honestly speaking. Jake has almost nothing to lose. Now, on the other hand, Jake Paul had 2 options: cancel the card or roll the dice on the craziest matchup possible. From a marketing standpoint, this is actually genius. Jake's entire career is built on one rule: virality over logic. And Netflix only cares about one thing: how many people click play. Tyson versus Paul wasn't a real competitive fight, let's be honest, but it pulled insane numbers. This is the exact same formula. Jake gets a massive payday, the biggest spotlight in his career, the ultimate "you have to respect me now" card, and even if he gets slept, the narrative becomes, hey, he fought Anthony Joshua, respect. Jake Paul has built a lane where losing is part of the business model. He loses, he rebrands, he prints more money. Even if AJ sends him to the shadow realm, which is most likely what's going to happen, they'll spin it into the comeback story, the guy who dared to fight a heavyweight. He fights KSI again, he fights smaller names, maybe another retired legend. The machine most likely will not stop. Jake Paul is not the best boxer, not even close in the game, but he might be the best marketer boxing has ever seen, if we're being honest. Now, let's talk about the actual boxing. What does this look like in the ring? Number 1, size and power are not negotiable. Anthony Joshua 6'6", around 250 pounds. Jake Paul is not a real heavyweight. When he bulked up on Mike Tyson, he looked slow, bloated, and flat-footed. Jake's body is completely unprepared for this. He just spent a camp cutting for a lightweight. Now he has to balloon up 30+ pounds in 4 weeks. That's not functional muscle. That's water, fat, and desperation, and honestly, maybe some PEDs. AJ is a real heavyweight puncher. Francis Ngannou, one of the hardest punchers alive, got flatlined in 2 rounds. Jake has never felt true heavyweight power. He has never stood across from someone who can knock him out with a jab. Puncher's chance, but we're talking about 1% here. Yes, Jake hits hard. Yes, he trains seriously. Yes, he's improved a lot, but this isn't Woodley. This isn't Nate Diaz. This isn't a washed MMA guy. This isn't a 60-year-old Mike Tyson. This is a career heavyweight who's been fighting giants since before Jake Paul knew what a Philly shell was. And remember, under pressure, AJ has shown he can freeze. It happened with his fight with Ruiz. It happened with Usyk. Even moments versus Dubois. If Jake lands one big shot, the whole arena holds its breath. The pressure is completely one-sided though for AJ. Win by decision, in my opinion, meme forever. Win by late stoppage, still a meme. Get stunned once, that clip is going to be played for the next 10 years. The only acceptable outcome for Joshua is a violent round 1 or round 2 KO. Nothing less hurts him. For Jake, he has to survive about 4 rounds. He wins the night. Here, the final bell, he becomes the most legitimized influencer boxer in history. The pressure gap between these two is insane. We've already seen the blueprint. He lost to Tommy Fury, a Love Island star, and his career got bigger. He pivoted, he rebuilt, he made even bigger fights. Losing to AJ becomes a badge of honor, and his team would absolutely spin it. Jake didn't have to fight a heavyweight, but he dared to be great. A big chunk of his fans will eat that up. If Jake somehow lands the miracle shot and somehow, some way sleeps Anthony Joshua, boxing explodes. The internet melts, AJ's legacy goes up in flames, and Jake Paul instantly becomes one of the most powerful people in combat sports. He could call out Fury, Ngannou, Wilder, literally anyone, and the world will tune in. It will be the single biggest upset in modern boxing history, and Netflix will be cutting Jake Paul checks for the next decade. But let's be real here, that's kind of delusional. So what do we actually think happens? This is one of the most ridiculous, imbalanced fights boxing has signed in a long time. Jake Paul went from training for a lightweight to walking into a ring with a heavyweight monster. I genuinely think Jake Paul might get seriously hurt in this fight. And if that happens, I don't know where the influencing boxing experiment goes from there. I mean, obviously, the only pick to make here is Anthony Joshua by a brutal KO, in my opinion. And it's most likely going to happen inside 2 rounds. If this goes past round 3, something has gone very, very wrong. And then the conspiracy theories will come out about the fight being fixed. And honestly, I don't blame anyone for having that take. But this is Jake Paul we're talking about. And if there's one theme in his career, it's that he somehow finds a way to shock people. Even when the odds make absolutely no sense, no matter what happens, the whole world will be watching on December 19th. Drop your predictions in the comments and let me know what you think about this whole debacle. Does AJ smoke him in round 1 or round 2, or does Jake Paul somehow survive and flip the script? Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you on the next one.